Thank you for tuning in to Black History Month Live. If you've been enjoying this video series throughout the month and throughout today, then we'd urge you to please make a donation to our GoFundMe page so we can help pay our contributors. The GoFundMe link is www.gofundme.com/F/Black History Month Live. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Earlier this week, I had the privilege of sitting and talking to Neo Vilakazi of Neo Productions. Here is my interview with him.
Hello everybody, it's Black History Month and I'm Cynthia Gentle from the African Caribbean Society of Scotland, ACSS. I'm coming to you live from the Cranny today, and my guest today is Neo Vilakazi. Welcome, Neo.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, and hello everybody.
It's such a pleasure to have you, Neo. I can't wait to get to know more about your work and what you're doing. But before we go into the present day, can you tell us a bit about who you are, where you came from, what brought you to Scotland?
That is a very, very long story. I'm not sure if your listeners have got the time, but it's been a very long journey. I come originally from Soweto, which is in Johannesburg, South Africa. And I was a scholarship kid, really. I won scholarships to go to a fancy school in South Africa. Then I won another scholarship to come to a fancy school in Edinburgh. So I went to one of the old schools in Musselburgh called Loreto, just outside Edinburgh. And this was 27 years ago.
Wow.
Very, very long time ago. I had hair when I first got to Scotland. And I've been here ever since, went to Napier, the university here, and I've really loved Scotland as a place to live. Got married here, I have children, and so South African originally, but by God's grace I found my way to Scotland, and I'm still here.
That's great. That's great. And so you are the creative director at Neo Productions.
That's correct.
Can you tell us a bit about what that involves and what Neo Productions is all about?
Actually that links in with my journey in Scotland, because I've been in Scotland so long, and when I first got here in the early 90s, firstly, there wasn't too many black people in Edinburgh. Secondly, all of the artistic work that was being produced back then just did not reflect black culture. There was nothing that reflected me, my history, or anything that I knew growing up. So I thought, well, it's a shame that we don't have African stories being told in Scotland, or in Edinburgh in particular, because you have the festival.
Yeah.
So I thought that it was very important to have a company that would specialize in telling African stories, and also to give African people a platform where they could come in and be able to tell their stories, and so that's how Neo Productions came about, and we've been in existence since 2004. I think we probably one of the longest surviving black and ethnic minority theatre companies, not only in Edinburgh, but I would say in Scotland as well. And we really just want to promote African culture, African stories, and to share it with the world, really.
Yeah, I have to say, I think you're the only black-owned theatre company that I know of in Scotland. There may be others, but I think you're the only one.
I don't know very many either.
Yeah.
And, I've been around a long time. There was one, but I can't think of another one that is specifically a black company. There are ones that are black and ethnic minority, Indian and other races, but there's not many black-owned companies or black-led companies. It's very important that we also have a voice and are able to tell our stories. So Neo Productions was created for that, really.
Yeah, that's very good that we have visibility in this field as well, and we're able to tell our own stories.
That's right.
And
right.
express ourselves artistically, you know, with
Absolutely.
our history, our message,
Absolutely.
everything. Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's really good. That's really good. So I know about one of your productions.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit more about? I don't want to give too much away.
Yeah.
I don't mind saying that I was involved in something a while back.
Yes.
And I was the grandmother. I think I was the oldest member of the crew.
Yes.
And
I wouldn't be so sure about that. I wouldn't be too sure about that.
I was the granny, and it was such an experience for me because I remember I used to have baby powder in my hair to look a little bit older, and I had to, you know, walk like a granny, and I had these young guys lifting me and carrying me. It was such a beautiful experience for me. Can you tell me a bit more about how that show has progressed?
Yes. The first thing to say, though, to everybody is that I discovered her, guys. So she's not letting you know that she is now what she has become because of that opportunity that we all of us work together to create. But the story that you're talking about is a musical, which I have written called Shona, the musical, and it really is. It's a story that takes place in Zimbabwe. And the reason that as I've said earlier, I'm from South Africa, and a lot of people say to me, but you're not from Zimbabwe. Why are you writing things about Zimbabwe? Well, I'm an African.
That's it.
And I don't, I'm a Pan-Africanist, just to distill what I think. I think all Africans, particularly when we're outside Africa, nobody really minds where you come. You're an African. So for me, the whole continent of Africa is a wonderful kaleidoscope of languages, of stories, etc., etc. So Zimbabwe, for me, recent history has been quite combustible, for want of a better word. There's been a lot that's happened in Zimbabwe, politically, economically, socially, and my interest was piqued on the Zimbabwe situation back, I think 2000, 2001 or something. I was already living in Scotland, and I saw on Newsnight, like everybody else in Scotland, the issue of farm clearances, etc., etc. And what I'm about to say now might be shocking as a black man, but I was shocked to see black people sort of, I wouldn't want to use the word persecuting, but they had the whip hand, to use a very old English phrase. And that was shocking. Growing up in South Africa, black people had always been the victims of political violence. So there was something wrong with this picture.
Unusual.
A very unusual picture. And it became a very big story in the UK. Jeremy Paxman, who people of a certain age will know, was the Grand Inquisitor in Newsnight. And they followed this story quite intensively. So it turned out that what was happening in Zimbabwe had its roots back in the UK in 1978, something called the Lancaster Agreement, where the British had agreed to pay for the land, but then reneged on that. And after many, many years of the Zimbabwe government trying to resolve this, the British simply dug their heels in and said, we don't have any obligations to fulfill our... So it created that mess. So that really stuck in my head as something unusual. And one of the things that moved me with that kind of a picture was that as black people, really, since the age of slavery, we have been victims of political violence, racial violence, etc. And that has given us some sort of, a moral high ground, if you like, that, we are the victims, so we would never do something like that to another race. So that's the only thing we've had, really, is that moral righteousness to say that this is, a racial persecution is not something that we would do. So seeing the reverse in Zimbabwe did upset me, because I thought the only thing that black people have got left is that we have had this kind of like, moral high ground for me. So that was not something that I was used to. So that stayed with me for a long time. That image stayed with me. And many years later, I met a chief from Zimbabwe in a place called Marange, who was married to a white woman. And this man was at the heart of what had happened in 2000, in the early 2000s. Him and his wife were bang center of the land clearances. And he happened to, because of his position, also knew a lot of the guys who were in the army, who were then the guys at the forefront of, taking the land back. So he was right in the middle of it, and quite vulnerable, because he had married a white woman. And he was sympathetic to the cause of white farmers, etc., etc. So I thought, well, that's a very interesting story. And cut a long story short, I mean, a lot of stuff happened to him and his wife through that whole time, but their love really was able to withstand that whole turbulence in Zimbabwe, and they're still together now. So the story is based on the chief, his wife, and some of his friends who, on the one side, the white farmers, were quite friendly with him, and on the other, he'd gone to school with some of the generals and grew up with some of the generals who were in Mugabe's army, who were then at the forefront of this. And I thought this is a fascinating story about colonial history of Africa, about reclaiming of the land. It has got the love story of the chief, and it has got both sides of the story. You tend to find that stories told about Africa tend to be black stories. But you don't have, in Africa, fortunately or unfortunately, white people have been a part of Africa for a long time. So a lot of stories that come from Africa don't reflect the role that white people have played, or even if they do, it is sort of like a one-dimensional kind of story, you know what I mean? And this story for me in Zimbabwe had everything. It had, it had race, it had the history of Africa in terms of its colonial past, it had love in the center of it, and it had the yearning of our people to be emancipated. So I thought that's a story that the world has to know, and it was told from the point of view of the chief from Marange.
And Neo, I'm from Zimbabwe, and I didn't know this story until I met you.
This is the problem. This is why
most Zimbabweans will be hearing about it here.
They wouldn't know.
They won't know the background
Absolutely,
story.
absolutely. This is the problem, and this is why I thought it would be very important to set up a company like Neo Productions, because the stories that are told by Africa are never told by Africans. So we get defined by others, and we as Africans ourselves don't tell our own story. And what that means is that the stories that are told about Africa tend to be negative portrayal of Africa. It's always the four men of the apocalypse. It's hunger, it's disease, it's war, it's famine. That is how Africa is portrayed. And it's important that we get in there and tell our own story. So there's wonderful stories, that people would never know. Even Zimbabwe people don't know. Where, when you talk to a younger generation about the Lancaster House Agreement, they don't know what you're talking about. When you're talking about, some of the agreements that led to what happened in Zimbabwe, nobody is saying that these forces, external forces, played a big part in what had actually happened. So we have to tell our own stories and give a fair portrayal of what is happening in Africa. And if we don't, then we will continue being portrayed as in a negative light. Most African stories are negative.
And not just being portrayed in a negative light, we'll be whitewashed out of history. If we don't tell our stories, there'll be big gaps in our history where it's the people who have power who will then take the pen and write a story that glorifies the hunter, and leaves us, it makes future generations wonder, what did people do before?
Exactly.
What were people doing?
Exactly.
That's why it's important we are,
exactly.
well, like you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to push back on some of the narratives about Africa that one sees. As I said earlier, because we're in Edinburgh, we're quite privileged because a lot of work comes here in the festival, and I've seen work from all over the world come into our festival, which is unique, really. There's no other city in the world that has got that kind of privilege, And the portrayal of Africa and Africans, even when you do get stories that come, because theatre can be quite expensive.
Yeah.
And if there's one thing Africans don't have, is the resource.
That's right.
So what you tend to find is that liberal institutions, theatre institutions, will go there. Western institutions with money, liberal theatre production companies. But the stories that middle class Westerners tend to choose are about rape, are about pillage, are about all sorts of negative stereotypes, and they will argue that this is important work that needs to be seen. But I can tell you, 20 years of watching in Scotland and all the work that comes here, it is all in the same vein. There's nothing positive. It is all the negative stuff, and it's funded by liberal institutions, as I say.
Yeah.
And that, for me, is a great shame that Africa gets. Well, it doesn't get a good PR, and it gets other people to define it. And we as Africans need to stand up and say, no more of that. We are the masters of our own fate, and we should also be masters of our own narrative.
That's it. And part of the work that we're trying to do with ACSS is to really flip that colonial mindset script of how people see Black people, their perceptions and things like that. And all through the month, we've been showing people who are doing different things in Scotland, telling their own stories, so that people understand that even individuals have not been through some of these things that are always coming through the news and everything. So we're trying to tell our own stories here in Scotland and make our mark so that we're not whitewashed. We mark our presence, we're visible.
Yes.
And I'm thinking one of the things that has been a challenge for us this year especially has been because of COVID and the lockdown.
Yes.
We've had to do things like this
where
we are at a distance and we don't have your whole production team here because of health and safety guidelines, that kind of thing. What's the impact? What do you think the impact of all this will be on the arts?
Well, I can tell you what the impact of it already is on the arts. There's a lot of artists who are going to go hungry. All the theatres are closed. There's not much opportunity for people to showcase their talent. Now that is multiplied by another 100,000 for Black and ethnic minority artists who get very little work to begin with. And so, for the last 6 months, since March, it's been very difficult for people to do anything. What does that mean for me, in particular in my company? Actually, it has been a blessing in disguise.
A blessing? Tell me this.
It has been a blessing in disguise for us. Because I think that the world has paused, and just taken a bit of a breather, and everybody's been sent to their homes, and for a creative like myself, space to think and to imagine is a very important thing. So over the last 6 months, I've had time to go back and look at some of the scripts I've written, some of the songs that I've written, to revisit them and to recalibrate them with all the feedback I got before. So the space and time means that you can think and you can be creative. So that has been very, very useful for us. More than that, we also, they relaxed the rules a couple of months back to say, people can go back to restaurants, You could go back and do better work. You could, rehearse using Zoom and all sorts of things. So I put a choir together to sing some of my music, and just before they tightened the rules again, we were able to get into a theatre and film the choir. So yeah, I mean, it's actually given me time to do all of that, which ordinarily would not have happened. So even in the midst of all of this bad stuff, one needs to be still positive and look at, life goes on,
Make the most,
yes,
and find
yes,
opportunities
yes,
even in all of
absolutely.
this. So when you were in the studio, what song did you record?
Man, I recorded lots of songs.
Was it in English, Zulu, or what? Because you write songs in different languages.
I do, and that's one of the I suppose, my style is to say Africans with our beautiful music. If we just do it and it's in African, I mean, I'm Zulu. If I do songs in Zulu, then even in South Africa, the Xhosas and the Sutus and the Vendas, they won't necessarily understand what I'm about. So I think that we have to use English a bit and use our language. So my music tends to be in Zulu and in English. So 80% of my lyrics are in English. So most people can understand the songs, the meaning of the songs, but you still have that African distinctiveness in the music. And we wrote a song which a lot of people really, really love, called Vuga Zimbabwe. Arise Zimbabwe. And you can check it out on YouTube. Go on YouTube, Shona the musical choir, you'll find it.
We should put the link. We should put the link here. Vuga Zimbabwe.
Vuga Zimbabwe, which was, it's. Could I say a little bit about the song?
Of course, yeah.
Vuga Zimbabwe is actually quite a special song for me because of what it means. Zimbabwe has been battered, really. It's been on its knees. It has gone through a lot of challenges. So Vuga Zimbabwe means arise Zimbabwe. And the song I wrote, just as a positive message to people of Zimbabwe to say, yes, things have been tough. Yes, things have been difficult, but you can rise again from all of the challenges that you have faced. And there's some beautiful lines there about, there's one line about Victoria Falls roars out your name. Zimbabwe ruins call you back home. So Vuga Zimbabwe, Shona, Ndebele, stand up and be counted. Raise your voice and fight for Zimbabwe. So it's a very empowering song for the people of Zimbabwe. Most people from Zimbabwe who hear it, they want a copy immediately. Give me a copy. Where do I get it? Where do I find it? Yeah, but it was inspired by that. I thought that they needed, we all as Africans need a break, but in particular, people of Zimbabwe have been through quite a lot recently, and that song is to, reinvigorate the people of Zimbabwe and give them pride in a country that is a very, very beautiful country.
Yes, we have been through a lot, and thank you for acknowledging that. As a Zimbabwean, we have been through a lot, and it's not easy for some of us being here away from loved ones and having to trying to imagine what people back home are going through with all the changes, all the chaos, And I think at this point I want to mention as well for Zimbabweans living in the UK or in Scotland that we have the Zimbabwe Scotland Society in Scotland. So find them on Facebook, get in touch and connect with them. But thank you. Those lyrics that you just described, that sounded just I'm not wearing waterproof mascara, man. So don't.
It's very inspiring. And I find Zimbabwe people to be very warm, and most of them actually, as they say, they're highly educated Zimbabwean people.
We were the most educated people in Africa, the breadbasket of Africa.
So I find them to be very enlightening, and any engagement that I have with people from Zimbabwe, I walk away thinking, Now that I didn't know. That. But their warmth is legendary, and as I say, it's a story for me that has implications for the whole of Africa.
Yeah.
And we as South Africans, when we were going through our own struggle, Zimbabwe stood shoulder to shoulder with us.
Yeah.
So I think the least we can do is to stand shoulder to shoulder with people of Zimbabwe through their trial, their tribulation.
Yeah. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's great. So let's come back to Scotland and Edinburgh and Neo Productions.
Yes.
What's the future looking like for you?
Well, future's bright.
We're here for it.
Future's bright. I think my nature is I'm an eternal optimist. I always look at a situation and try and find whatever positives there may be in a situation. So, as I described earlier, with the restrictions of coronavirus, we had to look at how can we, find positives out of that. But in terms of the future for the company, I was asked the same question by Janice Forsyth of BBC last week, BBC Radio Scotland, where we played our songs, and she said to me, "You as a black man must be really mad to think you can do a musical in the current circumstance. It's hard for anybody." And she's right. Musicals are very difficult to put together, and there's very, very few African musicals. I know people love The Lion King. I love The Lion King.
Yeah.
But it's a Disney production. Let's not get this wrong, people. It's Disney. So where are our own stories? Where are our own musicals? And I think musicals in particular, I have to say this, are a very African thing. We sing, we dance, we tell stories. So it's very surprising to me that we are not participating in that particular space. So yes, it is a very difficult undertaking. However, I think that when you confront the world with truth, artistic truth, wonderful music, superb dancing, great stories, that truth in the end will win out. Yes, there's many, many challenges that we're going to have to face moving forward. But I can say that there are doors that are opening to us now, which, even this morning, I got an invite from one of the most powerful people in Scotland in terms of theatre productions, and I'll be having a discussion with them later. And if you'd have asked me that this was going to happen this year or any other year, I would have said, nah. But you just got to put your best foot forward, and as I say, be truthful in your art, be truthful in the stories that you tell. And I think ultimately, quality will come through. And Africans and black people have always overcome adversity through our song. In America, a lot of the heroes that we have, our brothers in America, are artists.
That's right.
And their music just, shines through because of the, sincerity and the purity that they put in there. Same in Africa, if you have a product, a creative product, to me, it has to be driven by truth.
That's it,
And hopefully it finds its market, it finds an audience. But first, truth must come first.
That's it, before anything else.
Before anything else, and then the world will catch up later.
Yeah, the truth must stand.
That must stand. Your thing must have integrity.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people will look at, but I don't have this, but I don't have that. Well, I'm a ghetto kid, so I can speak quite confidently about the reduced circumstances of our people. So a lot of people I grew up with will always say, well, but I can't do A, B, C, and D. I don't have money. Don't worry about what you don't have. Rejoice in what you do have.
Yes.
So if you can sing, sing. If you can dance, dance. If you can write stories, write stories. And the money will come.
That's it.
The resources that you need will come. So a lot of people look at things the wrong way around. I have to have the resource before I can do something. No, do it the other way around, and you'll find you'll get somewhere.
you're talking about being a ghetto kid.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at your shirt, and something just keeps coming to my mind, and I have to mention it.
Yeah.
Ladysmith Black Mambazo.
Yes.
Is
Yes.
that shirt inspired by Ladysmith
Absolutely,
Black Mambazo?
absolutely. They are my heroes. I mean, those guys. I remember as a young kid, trying to do their moves. You know, you know what I'm saying? In my way, oh man, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Those guys are amazing musicians. But again, their music is full of truth of who they are, where they come from, and their culture. And they've taken that culture around the world. And I think at the heart of it, it is the authenticity and the generosity of their music comes from that truth of their people and their music and their culture. So yes, for me, they've been a huge inspiration. So yeah, thank you, Michelle. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Neo.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to getting to know more about your work. And for everybody watching, Vuga Zimbabwe is on YouTube.
Yes.
We're going to post the link. Have a listen and keep up with Neo Productions on social media. They're going to be here even after all this lockdown situation. You can visit whatever they produce live and be part of it. And thank you so much for writing our stories in truth, without hesitation, so boldly.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Our next group's music is inspired by Southern African melodies. It's a group directed by Neo Vilakazi, and the song is called My Father Knew. Enjoy.
So next we have Mother Almighty with their song Too Much, and keep your eyes open and see if you can recognize someone.
Lastly, but certainly not least, we have a group called Made for His Praise. And you might see some familiar faces from the African Caribbean Society who are in this group today.
Ngiyajabula Dlozi lami Ngiyajabula bo Ngiyajabula Dlozi lami Ngiyajabula bo. Yesterday the clouds were black, the dark clouds hanging overhead. Never know that things could change. All this time, my father knew. How all alone.
Nobody knew what to do, but all this time, my father knew. He really knew. I'm a Jabula,
before. Nobody knew, but all this time my Father knew. He always knew. He always knew. me too much. Lord, you love me too much. Your love is kind. Your love is patient. You fill my heart with so much peace and joy. You're amazing. You make my life feel brand new. Jesus, you're amazing. You make my life feel brand new. Jesus, you love me too much.
Too much, oh, too much, oh, excess love, oh.
Jesus, you love me too much.
Too much, oh, too much, oh, excess love, oh.
Yes, Jesus, you love me too much.
Too much, oh, too much, oh, excess love, oh.
Jesus, you love me too much.
Too much, oh, too much, oh, excess love, oh.
Say your love is
Kind,
your love is patient.
your love is patient.
You fill my heart.
You fill my heart
with so much peace and joy.
with so much peace and joy.
Say you're amazing.
You're amazing.
You make my life feel brand new.
You make my life feel brand new.
All your promises are yes.
All your promises are yea
and amen.
and amen.
You're not a
You're
man.
you never lie.
Jesus, you love me too much. Oh.
Too much, oh, too much, oh, excess love,
Yes, Jesus, you love me too much.
too much, oh, excess love, oh.
Yes, Jesus, you love me too much.
Too much, oh, excess love, oh.
Jesus, you love me too much.
Too much, oh, excess love, oh.
Too much, oh, too much, oh, too much, oh, excess love, oh. Your love for me is too much, oh, too much, oh, too much, oh, excess love, oh. Say too much.
Too much, oh, too much, oh, too much, oh, excess love, oh.
You love me, I cannot tell why.
Too much, oh, excess love, oh.
Everybody lift your hands and say your love, is amazing.
is amazing.
Your love, is amazing.
is amazing.
Your love, is amazing.
is amazing.
Your love,
Your love
is amazing.
is amazing.
Your grace,
Your grace
is amazing.
is amazing.
Your grace,
Your grace
is amazing.
is amazing.
Your grace,
Your grace
is amazing.
is amazing. Your grace is amazing.
You're 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 amazing.
Father,
You're amazing.
Yes,
You're amazing.
You're amazing.
You're amazing.
You're amazing.
You're amazing.
You're amazing.
You're amazing. You're amazing.
Jesus, you love me too much. Oh.
Too much, oh.
Yes,
Too
you do.
much, oh. Excess love, oh.
Oh, Jesus, you love me too much. Oh.
Too much, oh. Too much, oh. Excess love, oh.
Say
You're amazing.
you make my life feel brand new.
You make my life feel brand new.
Say
You're amazing. Oh,
you make
you
my
make
life
my life
feel brand new. Say you're amazing. You make my life feel brand new. And all your promises are
And amen.
You're not a man, you never lie. Jesus, you love me too much, oh.
Too much, oh. Too much, oh. Excess love, oh.
You love me, I cannot tell why.
Too much, oh. Too much, oh. Excess love, oh.
Jesus, you love me too much, oh.
Too much, oh. Too much, oh. Excess love, oh.
Jesus, you love me too much, oh.
Too much, oh. Too much, oh. Excess love, oh.
Oh, you love me too much. Thank you, Jesus, for your love.
Well, what's a celebration without dance? So here we have it, the dance section of our celebration. And to start it off, we have the students from the University of Edinburgh, also known as the Black Ed Movement. They recorded this video at the launch of Black History Month. Please take part, get up, move, and see if you can move better than these guys.
Black, 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 black on black, black, yeah, hey, okay, black, 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 black on black, black, my thoughts so black, 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 I'm black, my skin is so black, I'm rocking all black, everything is black.
Rims on this black, wheels
black,
in this black,
black,
wheel with this
black
black,
on black,
just
black,
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 black on black on black on.
Hey, black out the coupe, hop out the roof when I run into you. Dark black is the dark side of the moon. Won't be no truce, won't be no truce. At your funeral in an all black suit. Couple white girls rocking all black too. Me and your man marching in all black boots. Call up the troops, call up the troops. Punch you in the mouth, then knock out your tooth. I can tell when they not telling the truth. Talking that What you gon' do? What you gon' do? What you gon' do? Back and I'm black and I'm acting brand new. In the back like, oh word, diamonds all black like what you heard, what you heard, what you heard. Spilling some Hennessy black on the curb, just for the memory of the deceased. When I black out of awaken the beast, what it's gonna be, what it's gonna be. You don't want with a like me, that you never seen my feet so black. I'm black on black on black on black on black, 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 black on black, black my thoughts so black, black, black I'm black, my skin is so black. I'm rocking that black on black is black.
Rims on this black wheels in this black wheel with this black bitch.
Black,
So black on black on black on black on
black, 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 black on black, black my thoughts so black, black, black I'm black, my skin is so black. I'm rocking all black, everything is black.
rims on this black wheels in this black wheel with this black bitch.
Okay, respect is in order. Hate me better, do it loud. Ooh, for everybody black. Haters say that's crazy. Wow. It's crazy. Wow.
And next we have for you is the ACSS dance group, which is a group of individuals from Edinburgh that are living, studying and dancing. We'd also like you to get up, get moving. There's steps for you to follow along so you guys can do it at home and just get blood pumping.
Are you going to give it a try, Benita?
I'll try if you try it.
Cynthia?
I don't want to outshine anybody.
Oh, okay.
I would say a few moves you can probably try is the whoa. So it's like you throw something up and you catch it but pause. So you
Can
guys
you
can try that.
show me how to do that? I don't know how to dance. I am rubbish. You know, I need some help.
Let me stand up.
Okay.
Oh, let me move.
Is this
I'm
like a
moving
young
here.
people thing? Is this like a young people thing?
I think so. So this is what the young people do, but it's basically that you've got like you're juggling. So you take two, throw one up, and then catch it halfway. And then so got that one. Or you can do the typical kick into birthday.
That looks like a Burna Boy dance. That looks like a Burna
That one
Boy.
is a Burna Boy dance.
Oh, it is.
So when you get into your little hop and then birthday.
Oh. So things have moved on from that one where people were furiously moving their arms back and forth. I don't know what that one was called. You know, like, do you
They're
remember?
still kind of doing that, and they're doing a bit of like the footwork, but
Is that what you're talking
I
about?
can't get that one.
That one, yeah. What was that one
Flossy.
called?
That's the floss.
The floss.
Yeah. I can't do that one either, clearly.
Cool.
Lost an earring. That was you know.
Vigorous
was
dancing there.
Hello everybody, thank you for taking the time to dance along with us in celebration of Black History. Okay, so here's a breakdown of Koroba, and I'm gonna try my best to not take too long, but explain the moves as well as the counts. Everything is always gonna be in counts of 8. That's the simplest way to understand in dance terms. So we're gonna start off going to our left. So our left leg is gonna step out while our right leg follows. Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna go 5, 6, 7, 8. Step out this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Double tap on your left, going this way. So 1, 2, 3, and a 4. So 1, 2, 3, and a 4. So 1, 2, 3, and a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1, 2, 3, and a 4. Step forward on your left across. So 5, 6, and then it's kind of shuffle with your legs. You're gonna go 7, 8. Yeah, I'm going to repeat that one more time. So 5, 6, 7, 8. So 5, 6, 7, 8. So 5, 6, 7, 8. So your 7, 8 is your left, your right leg is going to go up while your left leg is going behind. So it's a shuffle. So yeah, okay. So I'm going to just count that from the beginning to the end. We'll add it again. So 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3 and a 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, we step forward on our right. So right while our left leg crosses over, and then we're gonna shuffle, open, close. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm gonna just count that from the beginning to the end. We'll add it again. So 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 for 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 for 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 for 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. Into Koroba. And for here, we're gonna go 4 shuffles on your right. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. Finish it on your left. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Finish it on your left. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Finish it on your left. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm gonna just count that from the beginning to the end. We'll add it again. So 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 for 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Finish it on your left. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we're gonna go Koroba, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. That's 8. Up, down, 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 up, down. That's 8. And then we're gonna twist going to the right. So it's gonna go 4 counts. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we're already facing that. We're just gonna go in the same direction. We step on our left, step out on our right. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 8 counts together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Step out. So your leg is stepping while your arms are going across. Then twist together this way into going 1 and a 2, 3 and a 4. 4 jumps. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 and a 2, 3 and a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 and a 2, 3 and a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3 and a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3 and a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3 and a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Into 1, 2, 3, 4. You're gonna keep going. You can change up whatever you like. Okay, so counting everything from the beginning to the end. We're gonna go 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 and a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2 and a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 and a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Freestyle, continue, whichever way you like. Okay, that is the breakdown. Sorry I got tired of talking, but it's okay.
London.
I know God is like to suffer. If I follow politician, you go hear am for paper. They go call am prostitution. Who no like enjoyment? If money dey for pocket, shebi na national budget. We go blow like trumpet. Koroba, 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 koro. Oya carry ya. Koroba, koro, koro, koroba, koroba, koro. Oya carry ya. Koroba, 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 koro. Oya carry ya. Koro, koro, koroba, koroba, koroba. Oya everybody carry ya something. He say, darling, I'm watching you. Small thing you don't move. You come, they shout only. The money you know what for. Back commando. You carry overload. Yawade, Igboro. Show wale, go wale. Koroba, 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 koro. Oya carry ya.
We're not going anywhere. The next section can be found on YouTube or Facebook, depending on where you're watching, and will be premiered right now.